Teddy covers is 94-44, cashing 68% of his tickets since 2001 with his famed Teddy Covers NFL Win Totals report, a 20-year track record of success. In addition, Teddy is 15-3, 83% winners with his 5% big ticket plays, cashing with the Chicago Bears under last season as his 5% big ticket best bet. This package includes each NFL season over-under bet with the type of detailed analysis you expect from Teddy, primed to pay dividends all season long. Get on board for the low price of $1.99, or better yet, the support is 100% free for Teddy's full season football combo or NFL seasonal subscribers. Documented over 55% over the last 7 full seasons, counting every play, every day. Get on board with this proven profit producer and cash in.
Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. I'm Lawrence Presman. That guy is Anderson Cooper. Teddy Covers. Dude, your hair looks spectacular. Did you do something to it?
No, I got a haircut last week. You just noticed.
Yeah, well, I wasn't gazing upon you before. This is the world's most famous and talked about daily sports betting show on the planet, in the universe. End of story. And what are we talking about today? Carm's going to come on first. He's going to tell us how to bet both hockey games tonight. Hakeem Profit's going to talk about the Warriors game tonight, and then a WNBA game. And if there is time, Teddy, he'll look at the Washington-Atlanta Braves game. And Andrew Lang, he's got one NBA prop, one MLB prop, one NHL prop, your big game breakdown. There might be a daily presidential address. Who knows? And, of course, what I'll be eating for lunch today, the most important of all segments. Teddy Covers, I have a question for you, but we'll do it after. What did you learn in the wonderful world of sports betting last night?
Well, I love it when the decision is easy and the game is even easier. And sometimes in postseason basketball, the decisions get really easy. My clients and I cashed twice with the Celtics as road underdogs in Milwaukee in their last series, both 5% big ticket winners. And both times, the Celtics were coming off a loss like they were last night, and both times they bounced back strong with a straight-up win. Celtics now 8-1 with the push. Their last 10 as road dogs. In their last 12 off a loss, they're 11-1 straight up, 10-2 ATS. That dates back to January. Only one set of back-to-back losses, and that came in March, and the first defeat was a grueling overtime game. So right now, for me, the Boston Celtics are as easy a team as you'll ever find to handicap. If the Celtics lose a game, I'm likely to be on them the next game. And last night's results, pretty easy in that regard. Boston, pretty darn good, bouncing back off a loss, both in the regular season and here in the postseason. I love it when the decisions are easy and the games are easy, Prez. But, Lawrence, I saw the best team in the history of the world in hockey last night. It loses big home chalk. They got blown out. I thought the Avalanche couldn't lose.
Oh my God. A really good team, a team that I think is the best ever, lost a game. Wow. Let me just check how many undefeated seasons Tom Brady had. Your point, Teddy? Yes. Okay. 4-1 Blues. Looks like we got ourselves a bet tomorrow. Anyway, here's what I wanted to ask you, Theodore. And it's a serious question. So since December, I have been literally in the zone in hockey. Like I was up 90 units or something over that period of time. I lost my last 6 hockey games. I'm dead. That's the truth. It's terrible. I'm in a state about it. I almost broke my TV last night. I did throw it, and the surrounding borders did break, but the actual TV is still working. There is a color problem with it, as I did throw the damn TV, but it's not a fully broken TV. Anyway, my question to you, Teddy, is, would you rather lose go 0-6 in one night or over 3 days? Which feels worse, or what's better emotionally?
Neither. They both feel awful. There's no joy in either one. I can't tell you which feels worse. Do I feel worse when I go 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, or when I have one completely miserable day and burn everyone? They both stink. So I don't know the right answer to that question, Lawrence.
I don't know. For me, I'll go 0-6 in the one night. It's harder to fathom that one night. You sit there and you're like, holy crap, I'm a professional sports bettor. I do well in this. And yet you have a shitter. And you do have shitters. I mean, it happens. Like, you can't avoid them. We've all had an 0-6 day. But doing it over 3 days, man, that just messes with me emotionally. Like, normally by like noon the next day, I've washed my sins from the day before away. So on that 0-6, one night, by noon the next day, I'm like, okay, let's go. But now, then you go through it all again. And then you go through it all again. So yeah, no. For me, it's like, give it all to me in one night.
Sure. But one thing that I have to say this, and I have no data to back it up.
Yeah.
Okay. But in my experience, I've seen, again, I've been in Vegas now 25 years. And I've seen so many times where a guy has a great regular season and maybe even a great start to the postseason, but that regular season success doesn't necessarily carry over to the playoffs.
Well, it
I've seen it happen in the
night.
NHL. It happens in the NBA. It happens in MLB. It happens in the NFL. It doesn't, have a great regular season in college football. It doesn't necessarily carry over to bowl games. It's like playoffs are a new season. You struggled early on in the NHL regular season, and then you heat it up pretty good. Maybe you'll do that here in the postseason as well, Lawrence.
Well, I got to tell you, and you know what? This is a perfect time to bring Carm right into this conversation, because unlike any other sport, and I know you're just going to disagree with me, because, I mean, that's literally, you woke up this morning disagreeing with me. But unlike any other sport, the playoff, the hockey playoffs, it changes the betting, because all of a sudden the favorites are much heavier favorites. That they tend to win, but they win in overtime and not regulation. I can't, for instance, twice in the last 3 days. The first game I took Colorado. The first game they won in overtime. It was minus 220. I'm not releasing 220 to my clients. So I gave it out as a regulation bet. They lost in overtime. Same the next day.
If the minus 220 is a winner and the minus 130 is a loser, the minus 220 is the better play, and you should give that to your clients.
No, because over the long period, over the season, for instance, if I continuously put them out in regulation, I'm going to win more than I lose. It's a winning proposition. The problem is this damn freaking playoffs. That regulation bet has become an issue.
Yes, it's a different handicap in the postseason.
Yep.
What worked in the regular season, the thought processes that work are different in the postseason. Same thing in the NBA. In the NBA, it's incredibly weird because the point spread's the same in every game. It doesn't change. It might change by a half point or a point, but you're seeing the same number for all the games in Golden State. And we'll see the same number for all the games in Dallas. And that's unique to the postseason. I like it when the bookmakers have it wrong or the betting markets have it wrong, and that gives you value with one side throughout the course of the entire series. What's Carmine?
Teddy Manuel Rodriguez, one of our most awesomest listeners. He writes, just happy Prez didn't have a 5% play over that period. Prez has one tomorrow, and it's going up now. So
I know what it is.
It's not in the back. No, it's not Colorado. It's actually an NBA play. Anyway, Carmine Bianco, what do you got to add to our hockey betting discussion?
It's a perfect segue because I had a miserable day yesterday. I'd rather it be one day than spread over 3 days, because I think the 3 days, Teddy, kind of screws with your head. I had like the golden sombrero yesterday. I didn't win a play. It was the worst, culminating in the late game, the Colorado over 6.5 game. But the same way, I don't go to social media and beat my chest when I have a 5-0 day. I don't do, I'll actually apologize when I have a bad day. It's because I know it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? But it's the ebbs and flows. But you absolutely hate those days when you have a bad one. And I'd rather not have 3 consecutive losing days as opposed to one bad day. Hope it's an outlier, and then you just move on to the next day and put that behind you. So with that said, I do agree on the playoffs are so much tougher in the NHL because the numbers are juiced. The good teams like the Floridas in the first round, like the Colorados, the good teams are getting juiced, and because books know that you don't want to go against Colorado at home, but you can with the St. Louis Blues because the Blues are a very good team. And prior to the show kicking off, I was talking to our producers, and I have St. Louis to win the cup at 18-1 for my clients, and they are starting to resemble the St. Louis Blues of 3-4 years ago that made that cup run behind Binnington. He looked absolutely unstoppable the last couple of days, last couple of games for the Blues. And if they continue on, they can knock out this Colorado team in this round. It happened to Colorado last year in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, Carm, with that said, since 2010, the third highest shot differential happened in game 1. Where I called my 5% play. Colorado outshot St. Louis. It was the third highest differential in 11 years. So, I like how the Blues are playing. And Binnington is phenomenal, but I just can't see them getting through Colorado. But hey, what the hell do I know? I'm 0-2 in this damn series so far. Anyway. Manuel Rodriguez, thank you for the tip, my brother. G. Burnett writes 3 words that will never come out of Teddy's mouth. You're right, Prez.
It's happened.
It has happened. Yeah, I remember one day on that 3-team parlay, you actually made a public announcement saying how right I was. Anyway, Carm, I want to talk
Canes
about
and Rangers.
I want to talk about the peach that SN Bets uses, but whatever. We're not going to give them any plug-in. Rangers game, brother, go.
Yeah, you look at game 1. That final score 2-1 in overtime looked nothing like the final analytics. I think you have to look at final analytics for a lot of these series because there are some outliers, and we'll talk about it in the second game, but. The XG number in that 2-1 game that went to overtime was 6.18 combined goals in that game, and only 0.3 of that was in OT, which tells you the goalies played extremely well in the series. And even if you look back at the prior meetings between these two teams during the regular season, there's a correlation between the Rangers and the under. If you like the Rangers to win tonight, you have to look at the under. If you like Carolina, you have to look at the over. During the regular season, the Rangers went into Carolina, beat them 2-0. Obviously, that game stays under the total. The other 3 games, they lost all 3 games by scores of 6-3, 4-3, and 4-2, each game going over the total, each game won by Carolina, including in New York late in the season. The Canes, they sleptwalked through the first couple of periods of that game 1. They had 8 shots in the first period, 6 shots in the second, but they really picked it up from that point forward and really dominated the Rangers, but Shesterkin stood on his head. I think the Canes, and we're going full circle back to what Teddy said, looking at regulation and looking at full game line. The full game line is about 175. It's probably going to go a little higher, maybe 180, maybe 185, in which case a lot of the Ranger value players will come in on the Rangers money line. But the Canes, I think the Canes are the play here. They play extremely well at home. Only 2 teams in the East were better at home this past season, and that was the President's Trophy winners, Florida, who are in trouble right now, and the already eliminated Toronto Maple Leafs. They're the only 2 teams that play better at home all season long. Give me the Canes here. This looks like a series that's going to mirror the last series where the Canes won every single game at home in a 7-game series against the Bruins, but could not win on the road. But Canes have a 2-0 lead heading to New York.
We've seen a big series price adjustment for Calgary and Edmonton off of the single a win for the Flames. The Flames were minus 190, and now I'm seeing them in the minus $4 range for the series. So the betting markets have made a pretty strong statement in favor of Calgary for tonight in game 2. Let's call it minus 170, minus 175. Looking at that WagerTalk live odds screen. Calgary is home chalk. Total 6.5. Juice to the over. What do we do with the Flames and the Oilers game 2?
Yeah, game 1, Teddy. Game 1 was it looked like pond hockey out there. 15 goals scored in game 1. 13 of them were 5-on-5 with 1 power play for Calgary and 1 empty netter. And everyone is just talking about playoff Mike Smith and Mike Smith this and Mike Smith that. The fact that he allowed 3 goals on 10 shots in the first 6 minutes and was pulled. Yet nobody is talking about the fact that Markstrom allowed 6 goals on 28 shots, all at even strength for Calgary because of the final score, 9-6. The fact remains all 3 goalies, Smith, Koskinen, and Markstrom, were bad in game 1. I don't expect that in game 2. And if you look at the final XG numbers, the final XG numbers were 5.02 to 2.3 for the Flames. 7.32 were the final analytical numbers for a game that had 15 goals. It literally went 8 goals above the XG number. That doesn't happen. That tells you how bad the goaltending and defense was in this game. I want to take the contrarian viewpoint on this game is that they're all going to be better. They're going to be better defensively. The goalies are going to be better. And while the XG number landed on pretty much on where the total is here at 6.5, juice to the over, that could actually push this to a 7. I'm going to take the contrarian view, and I'm going to go under the total here. I think the Oilers will be better. I think the Flames will be better. I think it'll be a tighter defensive game. I could be wrong, but I think the contrarian view here, I think there's an knee-jerk reaction to, we saw 15 goals. Every single game is going to be high scoring in this series. I don't necessarily see that. So I'm going to go under the total here. I'm going to go against the public on this one.
Yeah, and Carm, I'm with you completely on that play. I mean, you look and you're like, man, 9-6 last game. This game's going over. Man, this is one of the coaches is Daryl Sutter. Daryl Sutter is not going to be happy with the fact that their team was up, I think 5-1 at one point, ended up being 6-6 at one point. I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense to me. Brother, what do you got to promote?
Yeah, a couple plays in NHL. It's the final weekend of European soccer, so I'm going to have a bunch of plays every single game that has some type of a scenario or a cup berth or a title berth or regulation attached to it. I'm going to have a play on it, NHL throughout the weekend, and I have a 5% play loaded on Sunday, the final day of the Premier League in England. And I've got a code, 3-day all access, get all 3 days, $15 off with WTT 15. So WTT 15 will get you $15 off that $59 price. And that's almost the same as just buying 5% play on Sunday. So that's it. And I wish you guys and everyone in the chat a great weekend.
Awesome. Carmine Bianco, everyone. Thanks, brother. Loved having you on. Teddy, get ready. You got your big game breakdown coming. We got Skee Profit. We got Andy Lang, the daily presidential address. This show has just started.
Stop. Don't buy that Picks package or all access. Wait, what? Yep. Don't click add to cart until you check out our new deals page at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can find all the latest offers, promotions, and coupons available all in one place. These deals are updated daily and can be found by clicking deals in the nav at WagerTalk or Sports Memo, going to wt.buzz/deals, or scanning the QR code on your screen.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. And just a quick note at the top. I know the big game breakdowns, they haven't been good this week. Last week wasn't much better. Unfortunately, it is that time of the year. All right. During NFL and college football season, there's lots of games every week. I can go anywhere. And of course, I'm always looking to fill in gaps on the show. If we're talking a lot of college football, I'll do an NFL game. We're talking a lot of NFL, I'll do a college football game. Same thing with college hoops and NBA. There's lots of games every day. I can pick and choose and fill in the gaps where needed. But here, when we get to late spring and summer, there's one NBA game a day, and I can't give it out. You know, I'm 2-0 for the clients in the Heat Celtics series, but I'm giving secondary NBA opinions here on the show because we need NBA content. Unfortunately, 0-2 with the big game breakdowns in the NBA this week with the secondary opinions, while the clients have been just fine. So it's been a little bit frustrating in that regard. There is one thing that I have gotten right on big game breakdowns over the last 2 weeks. And that was last week. I was riding the Phillies and the Dodgers over the total. I'm going to do it again here in Philadelphia, a better hitter's ballpark than what we saw in LA last week. I was kind of shocked when I saw this total 9 to the under with, 8.5s popping up out there for the Phillies and the Dodgers. And I understand the Phillies just got shut out twice in the last 3 games by the Padres on their return home. But make no mistake about it, the Phillies are going to hit. They were all over the Dodgers pitching in LA last week. LA, what do they have? 6 overs and 2 pushes their last 8. They haven't cashed an under at any point during that span. 2 lineups we trust. Look for the Dodgers and the Phillies to get up and over the total. And I'll do my best to give you guys winning analysis here with the big game breakdowns as best that I can over the summer months. There you have it, Prez. Back to you, my friend.
Great stuff, guys. Real quick, I spoke to head office and I did get a promo code. I was hoping to get a promo code for this show for my 5% tomorrow. And Missy and the head office team pulled it off. If you want $15 off of my 5% play, it is up right now. Use the promo code NBA15. That's NBA15. Teddy, speaking of the NBA, man, Skee Profit joining us, does every Friday in this spot. Where might he be? Do we have a Skee? There he is. Oh, almost caught you drinking there. Pure vodka?
Maybe a little.
Yeah. I don't even think the cool Skee is drinking vodka at 8:23 in the morning. That would be that's something I've never done in my life.
I'm not gonna go that far, but yeah, not today for sure.
You've drunk alcohol at 8:30 in the morning. Is that from the bender you're still on, or is that like you actually woke up and did that?
Before I lived in Vegas, I used to go visit. And when you go to Vegas and go party, you don't sleep. Okay. It's a 24-hour cycle.
And there's Patty's Day. There's all kinds of stuff where you might be drinking in the morning. Having a Bloody Mary. Sure. It's not like you never drank at 9 a.m., Prez. You've done it, haven't you?
No. Dude, I haven't even drunk at 9 p.m. Teddy, the last time I was like shit-faced drunk, I was 16. Some guy tried to pick me up at a bar, and was buying me drinks. I was like, okay, give me my drinks. Anyway, Skee, man, nice to have you with us. Warriors game. How do we bet this one?
Hey, can I comment on some things you guys said really quick? I feel like I just want to run something past you. Okay. First of all, I'm with Carmine. I'd rather have 0-6 day because I can just throw it out the window and have a 6-0 day tomorrow and be happy again. And about what you said, like blame it.
Not Carmine. Carmine is with me. You're with me.
Okay.
You're both in my car. I'm driving.
Got you. All right, we'll ride along. But with your other point about you don't want to release minus 220, there's 2 things I want to say about it. One, I've heard Yanni kind of say maybe that bet was supposed to be minus 320. Maybe there's still value in that number. at the minus 220. And other than that, I was trying to think, like, I've been doing this with NBA, and I kind of did it similar to baseball and hockey. I know they have -1 lines, but I heard you say, and I don't know hockey that well. That's why I want to run it past you. I heard you say you do these winning regulation bets. So what about, and you get screwed if they go into overtime. So what if you, like, for example, I think Carm said he likes the Canes today. To win in regulation, -107, and then draw is +330. Like, you could put 1.5 units on the Canes and then put a half unit on the draw. And if it goes into overtime, you don't lose. You get what I'm saying?
Skee, a better plan than doing that is to just release it at -1. And if it goes into the overtime and they win, it's a straight draw. The problem is, and people don't realize this, and this is a big conversation that we really can't get into right now, is that betting and handicapping, there are differences. And for instance, most sports books don't have -1. I almost never bet regulation in my life. I bet -1. However, I release them as regulation plays. That's not true. I bet a lot of regulation plays, but I do bet -1 as well, and especially in the playoffs. But you can't release it because most sports books don't offer -1. So there is, and then what we sell picks. You put out a play and you divide it between the two, and you do that on a daily basis. Every time you lose that play, it's 0-2 on your record. So it's not as black and white. I wish that every customer of mine was using the same sports books that I used, and that we could get the same lines and we can make the same bets, but that just doesn't happen. Anyway, anything else, bro, in that regard?
No, it kind of leads me into the Warriors game. I mean, that's how I've been betting NBA. I kind of took it from what you just said, the baseball and the NHL. I'll put some on the spread, some on the money line, and I will release 2 separate bets. And I found ways to have success with it. So in this game, that's what I'm going to do here. I don't know if I talked to you guys about it last in game 1, but the handicap, or part of it at least, playoff home favorites with more rest than their opponent. You guys know I've been a big fan of rest advantage all season. They won 75% of the time. Now, both of those teams, Miami and Golden State, won. And if those teams, are home favorite again the next game, they were winning 78.4% of the time. And Miami just lost. So, I don't think we're going to get another loss. And the Warriors, I'm going to bet them that way, Lawrence. I'm going to explain this first. -240 is what I took, and -110 for the spread. That creates a -172 line. The implied probability there is 64%. And I just told you those teams win 78.4% of the time. So I still think there's an edge. And in general, just like, what are the Mavs going to adjust? Like, Jason Kidd did a hell of a job versus the Suns. You can do that when it's only Devin Booker and Chris Paul. And then you don't have that big man who's an excellent playmaker like Draymond, but you can't trap up top. You can't trap Steph Curry because all he's going to do is dump it off to Draymond. And at that point, your defense is at a disadvantage. You can't double Jordan Poole. It's 4 or 5 people on the court who can score at one time. So it's just hard for me to see what adjustments Jason Kidd is going to make. I also, we'll see how Luka looks tonight. But I heard he was sick leading up to that game 1. So we'll see if he's healthy in this one. And also, Golden State through multiple defenses at the Mavericks. They've seen multiple defenses through the championship year. That's what I expected. And they just know how to play superstar players. They play LeBron. They play Harden. Warriors have been there. So I like the Warriors in this one on the money line and the spread.
So I kind of went back and forth on this game, Skee, and when I go back and forth on a game, I end up at least 98% of the time, I don't end up playing it. And this is one where, like, Dallas isn't going to play a whole lot worse than you saw in game 1, but the matchup edges for Golden State to me look very real. When I saw Wiggins staying in front of Doncic without a need for a double team, that changed my opinion of the entire series. Is Golden State going to roll here? Is this Warriors in 5 kind of a scenario? Is Golden State rounding into form right now? Is this a bet-on team moving forward after they've had some inconsistencies to the first 2 rounds of the playoffs?
It's absolutely a bet-on team. I've already placed my bets on them. I have them plus 300 to win the West. I have them plus 655 to win the championship. I think they're the best team left. They do not lose at home. They only have 10 losses at home all year. And, I think Warriors can win this one, like Warriors minus 1.5 bet or however you call it. I could see it happening in 5, Teddy, but I know for sure Warriors will not lose at the house.
Skee Profit joining us, everyone. IOD writes, massage gun to calf muscles is life-changing. Totally off topic. The reason I read that is I just got me a Thero gun, and I agree. Those massage guns to the calf muscles are delicious, to say the least, especially when someone else is administering it and you're lying flat on the floor. Skee Profits, WNBA has started. Lots of value in betting this sport. You have a bet for us?
Yeah, I've been doing pretty well. I know I had a 3-1 night last night, and I know I don't have a lot of time, so I'll keep it kind of simple. And also because the line has already got jacked up. I took Connecticut Sun minus 13. I think it's up to like 16 now, and I understand why. In my mind, the Fever are the worst team in the WNBA. I know it doesn't look like that record-wise yet, but they just played 2 teams. The wins that they got were 2 teams who are just in a bad situation at the moment. I think, they could be with 2 wins a month from now. So they lost 3 of their 4 losses by more than 14 points per game, and the Connecticut Sun have the best plus-minus in the WNBA like the past couple years, and they usually win by margin. So I like them to get it done here. And if you can't make that bet at minus 13, I don't know that I'll get in at minus 16, but I also took Connecticut Sun to win the WNBA championship. I got plus 400. You can get plus 425. And in general, this team, or the starting 5, has the most chemistry, most cohesion. They've been together for the longest time. I know they just got Courtney Williams back, but she was a part of that Connecticut Sun team that went to the WNBA finals versus the Washington Mystics in 2019. So I just like, the consistency that this team has. And if they can just be healthy, they've been without Alyssa Thomas for a year. They've been without Courtney Williams for a year. I think they can be the best team in the WNBA. I think they'll be there at the end. And if they don't win, you'll at least have a chance to hedge. So I like Connecticut Sun to win the championship, and I like them to win by extreme margin tonight.
Skee, in one word, Washington Braves game, over, under Washington or Braves?
That was WNBA, and I'm going to go under. Too much scoring missing.
There you go. Under in the Washington Atlanta game in the WNBA. Love having you, my brother. I'm coming down on June 21st. You don't need to put that in your calendar because all I'm going to do is degen at the poker table. But I would love to see you at some point while there. Get out of here, man. Teddy covers. Andy Lang joining us. And last week, Andy came on here and gave out Max Verstappen to win the Sunday tournament, the Sunday race. And he did it because he knew it would be the best line available at that time. Andy Lang, were you correct? Oh, we're having an Andy Lang issue. Well, we got 1 second. Teddy, smile, man. Smile, Ted. There you go. Andy, were you right?
Hard to say. They just got done with 2 practice sessions, which I don't think we learned a whole lot. Teams were practicing with the new upgraded packages. Leclerc was fastest in the first 2, but they were the ones that really needed to get out and put the hammer down. Max didn't seem like he was trying that hard, so we'll have to wait and see what the lines come out after the first 2 practices. My guess is I probably did not get the best line by about 20, 25 cents. Nothing too major, but I still feel good. We've seen this theme this year that Leclerc goes fast in practice, and then race day, all of a sudden, Red Bull unleashes their speed. So I still feel good about Max winning this race. We'll see after qualifying.
And listen, I mean, every race Max has finished, he's won so far this year, and he hasn't been on the pole. So, this story is played out already, Andy. Leclerc wins the pole and comes second in the race. You got 3 prop bets for us. The first one is in the NBA. It's to do with Andrew Wiggins, my fellow Canadian. How do we bet this Andrew Wiggins prop?
Well, it's funny. You got this series with big names like Luka and Steph and Clay and Jordan Poole's emerging, and Andrew Wiggins is the most consistent scoring prop player for me for the Warriors right now. The books keep putting the same number up, 15.5. He had 19 points in game 1 against Dallas, and you go back to the Memphis series, and he had 18, 17, 17, 16, and 17. They had that weird game 5, which was the huge blowout by Memphis. He only played 19 minutes and had 5 points. But any game that is competitive or that the Golden State Warriors win, he's out there scoring over 15.5 points. He had 17 field goal attempts in game 1. If he gets that kind of production and that kind of shots, he should go over. He hit 3 of 8 3-pointers. So feel good about Wiggins and just keep cashing this over 15.5 as long as the books keep putting out this number.
So here's my question about Wiggins tonight, because my feel is that any offense the Warriors get from Wiggins is like a bonus. What they're most concerned about Wiggins is him staying in front of Luka on the defensive end of the court.
Yeah.
Do you worry at all that defensive mindset for Wiggins about Dallas's best player or surrounding Dallas's best player, do you worry at all that he'll get worn down, he'll get into foul trouble, there'll be something happens that slows him down on the offensive end of the floor tonight?
Foul trouble doesn't seem to be a concern with him. He's only had 5 fouls one time in the playoffs. Everything else has been 3 or less. And then, as far as the defense, I thought what Golden State did was great because they not only utilized Wiggins and his athleticism, but they utilized a zone, they utilized a box. Draymond was great on some of those switches, and they just threw a lot of players at him. They contested those pick and rolls, and I thought Luka looked compromised. You saw him doing this with his shoulder, and I thought it was just a great team effort. They called on Wiggins occasionally to step up, but I thought they did a great job of managing him as far as not having to deal with Luka one-on-one all game. I think they utilized the team defense, and Wiggins should have more than enough energy to get over this number.
Andy Lang, dude, you are getting a ton of love in the chat room. You pay these guys?
No, the bookies do when they buy my picks. Hey-o!
Woo! Booyah! The prop whisperer, the prop god, the prop goat. Oh my God. Andy, Martin Maldonado. We had a candy on the Blue Jays once. Are they related? They gotta be. It's gotta be his son.
I'm really enjoying hitting props this year in baseball. They seem to be going really well, and we're going to keep continuing to add these. This is a pretty obscure one. Maldonado is batting .122 this season, so not exactly a great season. However, he's now had a hit in 4 out of 5 games, and he cashed this prop for us yesterday, which is over half a hit. He had a really good matchup yesterday against a pitcher he's had really good success against, and today he faces Martin Perez, who he's 9 for 17 against him over his career with 3 extra base hits and 4 RBIs. We're getting a fantastic price at -110 on a guy that's got bad full season stats, but he's in really good recent form. I really like looking at recent form with these batting props. I think he gets over 1 hit here. He's the 9th batter in the lineup, so it's going to be, he's not going to have as many, probably as many at-bats, but still, got to take this good price to just get 1 hit today.
Teddy?
Over half a hit, right? Yeah. So it's
over half a hit. He just got to get 1.
Yeah. And of course, the Martin Maldonado is Candy Maldonado's son from back in the day. Let's talk an NHL prop for tonight. And we'll talk about Connor McDavid. Over under 1.5 points. Connor McDavid.
What?
Everyone knows Connor McDavid. Over under 1.5
What number
points.
is he, Teddy? What number's on his shirt?
There's only one
tell
number.
You what number the NBA players have on their shirts, and I watch NBA every night. It's just
what number was Wayne Gretzky? What number was Wayne Gretzky?
99.
Oh, thank God. Okay, Andy Lang, tell us what 97 is going to do.
Well, Prez, I'm sure you're not excited to take an under on Connor McDavid, and neither am I. So I'm taking over 1.5 points. He's had 2 or more points in 7 out of 8 games this postseason, and in that
unbelievable,
yeah, and in that insane 9-6 game, he had 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points. Even in the regular season, he had success against Calgary. Played him 4 times. He went over 1.5 points in 3 games. It's minus 130, which on the surface may seem a touch juicy, but looking at the track record and looking at the explosion of goals last game, you got to think the offenses are going to do well. McDavid's going to be a big part of it. So absolutely love McDavid over 1.5 points. We got a 5% NBA play that is up for tomorrow. And for tonight, we got 1 MLB client play, 1 NHL client play, and 1 NBA 4% best bet. That's what's going on for me over at WagerTalk.com. And thank you guys so much for having me on. I love this Fridays.
Yeah, dude. We listen. We love it too. Andy, you got a prop show going? What do you got going later today?
Well, we're doing Prop It Up Now live at 10 a.m. on Friday mornings, and then on Thursday we do a show called Prop Shop with the great Ariel Epstein, the prop queen from Yahoo Sports. She's fantastic. Gave out more winners yesterday on the K props, so it's really exciting to see the props becoming more and more prevalent. And it's just an exciting time of the year for us.
Yeah, dude.
10 a.m. What time zone is that, Andy?
Eastern, the only time zone that exists in my world.
The only time zone that exists. Period.
Here on the left coast.
Teddy covers that show, Andy, should be called Prop Royalty, because between you and Ariel, I mean, my God, dude. That's by the way, I can always get Anderson Cooper to jump in and co-host if you want.
Really?
I don't know why Teddy looks exactly like Anderson Cooper to me today, but what can I tell you? Last week it was Munch from Law and Order. Get out of here, bro.
See you guys. Thanks again.
Teddy, smile again.
Do we have 100 likes?
We do.
Then I will not smile.
Awesome. It's me, Lawrence Presman. I'm going golfing today. Royal Stovall. Here I come. My goal, break 90. I know most of you people are laughing at me, but hey, small goals. I've never broken 90 in my life. I got 2 bets for you guys tonight, but I do want to let you know Monday, we have a show for all you Canadians who are celebrating the Queen's birthday for some ungodly reason. We will be doing a show on Monday. As well, I have a 5% play up in the NBA. It's for Saturday. You guys can get it $15 off. Use the promo code NBA15. Chris, if you're listening, can you tweet this out? Because I'm going golfing. Here are your 2 plays. Edmonton under the total tonight. I know Carm was on the show. He did a deep dive. He talked about how counterintuitive it is. I agree. I expect Markstrom to have a monster game tonight. I think we could see a 2-1, 3-1 type hockey game. Take the Oilers under. And the Blue Jays minus 1.5. Now, I don't normally bet a lot of home teams minus 1.5. I did last night. I released the Houston Astros at minus 1.5, and it won. I'm going back to the well with the same concept. I'm taking the Blue Jays minus 1.5. Guys, a lot of love to you all. It is my birthday on Sunday, and I am going hard. Teddy, I'm eating a burger and fries today at the golf club. Take us home, my brother.
Sure. That's going to wrap it for the Prez birthday week final edition of WagerTalk Today. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back again on Monday, 9 a.m. here on the left coast. Noon for you back east. Between now and then, enjoy the games and good luck.
Teddy covers is 94-44, cashing 68% of his tickets since 2001 with his famed Teddy Covers NFL win totals report, a 20-year track record of success. In addition, Teddy is 15-3, 83% winners with his 5% big ticket plays, cashing with the Chicago Bears under last season as his 5% big ticket best bet. This package includes each NFL season over-under bet with the type of detailed analysis you expect from Teddy, primed to pay dividends all season long. Get on board for the low price of $199, or better yet, the support is 100% free for Teddy's full season football combo or NFL seasonal subscribers. Documented over 55% over the last 7 full seasons, counting every play, every day. Get on board with this proven profit producer and cash in.